welcome back to the family table. My name's Michelle, I'm a registered dietitian. Today we're talking all about getting kids into the kitchen. This is something that a lot of parents want to do but don't really know where to start. Yes, it's messy, and yes, it's going to take a lot longer to make even just a basic recipe, and yes, there's going to be mistakes along the way. But the learning experiences of getting your kids into the kitchen are so rich and so powerful for them, the benefits really do outweigh the mess it's going to happen. What's in it for the kids? Well, they're going to be learning numeracy. Here, Veronica is counting the avocados at the grocery store, and when we get home, we're also going to learn numbers by looking at recipes, figuring out addition, multiplication, even fractions at such a young age. They're also learning literacy, from reading recipes, from reading ingredients, reading boxes and ingredient labels, like Veronica is demonstrating here. I see.
What?
It says Veronica. What's in it for you? Well, first and foremost, it's fun. Getting kids in the kitchen is supposed to be enjoyable. It's not supposed to be a chore. And certainly it can be stressful sometimes. And it's not always going to be rainbows and unicorns, but it can be fun to watch your kid actually learning new skills and engaging with you outside of a screen or outside of just playing with their toys. They get to play with some of yours too. One day, they might just surprise you and make you a delicious meal. Obviously, you'll keep unsafe things at further than arm's distance away from the kids. We don't want them to get their hands on the big people knives just yet. Maybe you keep a safer alternative like a butter knife, or when they're old enough to understand sharp things are sharp, something like a paring knife might be a safer alternative. For example, here's Veronica trying very hard to be a little Miss Independent, but she's just not quite ready for a sharp knife yet. So she's got a butter knife while she practices. Now she's getting a little bit more practiced, and while you can see her technique is not exactly perfect, I am standing right next to her so I can watch to make sure that she is safe while she's getting some more practice with the paring knife. If you have a distracted kid, and I mean, don't we all at some point or another, you may find that they're getting fussy just by trying to follow your instructions and follow a recipe. And if they don't want to participate, that's okay. They don't have to join you every single time. If they still want to be at the counter though, maybe give them a related task, like, oh, I have this bowl and the spoon. Can you just mix some water for me?
Maybe you can put it in here. Can you pour it in here?
Now, Veronica still wanted to help out in the kitchen, but just didn't want to do the thing that I was actually asking her to do. So she got some coconut milk, some bok choy, she's mixing it around, and she's happy. So how do you get started getting your kids cooking in the kitchen? First, get them right up at counter height. Let them be fully engaged in the experience. Don't just give them stuff on the floor in the kitchen to play with. Let them actually see what's going on at the counter. This might mean that you get a kitchen tower like what we have, or a footstool that's tall enough that your kid can get all the way up to the counter height. Or for really little kids, even for babies, you could have them sitting in a bumbo at the counter, or a high chair that clamps onto the counter, even a high chair just in the kitchen. High enough that they can really see what's going on is really the point. And if they're old enough to actually participate, close enough to the counter that they can get hands-on as well. It's so scary to let my kid hold a knife or hold actual big people objects, and it's really frightening. They're going to hurt themselves, they're going to mess something up, they're going to destroy my kitchen, they're going to throw things everywhere. Yeah, they will. I'm not going to lie, that is going to happen at some point. There will be a mess. They might hurt themselves if we're not totally careful, but it's okay. Part of the process is letting them learn, and also for us to learn to trust our kids. I totally admit that for myself, even when my daughter would pick up a knife or pick up something that's sharp or get too close to the hot object, of course my mom instincts kicked in. I said, don't do that. But eventually I learned that she kind of understands. She's starting to learn that knives are sharp, which way to hold them, and yeah, there's a risk that she might accidentally poke herself. But I allow her to practice with a relatively safe version of the knife. I stand close by to prevent any major accidents from happening. She's getting valuable learning experience and motor skills and becoming more invested in her meal. Don't limit their experience to just doing really simple, safe things like stirring and whisking and spreading peanut butter on toast, something like that. Even toddlers can do a lot in the kitchen that you may not even think. They can slice things, they can rip up lettuce and herbs off of the sticks, they can wash fruits and veggies, they can spin a salad spinner, they can empty and load the dishwasher. Even a toddler can set the table. That's participating too. A toddler can crack eggs, they can measure and pour things into measuring cups or bowls.
You can sprinkle toppings on pizza or sprinkle on cheese. They can even grate the cheese.
They can peel a carrot, they can roll a burrito, they can mash potatoes, maybe even use small appliances like a hand blender. And of course, they can also wash their hands, which is an important task to learn right from the very beginning, that we wash our hands before we cook, we wash our hands before they eat. Again, we're teaching life skills. So again, cooking with kids doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to take a lot of extra time or effort. It just requires a little bit of closer supervision and a little bit of extra forethought on your part to make sure that we're giving them a full experience and not just the stir the bowl experience. If you liked what you saw today, please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for another video. I'll see you again next time.
Little bite?
Yeah.
Show us how good it is.